It's breakfast time!
Morning is upon us.
The radio station you can't live without. This is your radio.
This is South Coast Radio.
So, ladies and gentlemen, with that being our first hit of the moment for our breakfast session, and we are going to be kicking into our moment of the moment right now, which is our live interview with Sihle Msabala. And so we have Sihle with us on the lines. Sihle, do you want to say hello to the listeners out there?
Hello everyone. My name is Sihle, and I'm very honored to be interviewed in our South Coast Radio.
Awesome stuff, Sihle. Okay, so I'm just going to run a quick bio about Sihle for you guys to know who he is. So Sihle, also known as Sihle Magnificent Msabala, born on the 8th of September 1991. He's the firstborn of two sons. He studies at Umtwalome High School and completed his matric in 2011 at Umtwalome High School as well. He is a father to Sihle Msabala, aged 5 years, and also he is a humble, friendly and self-motivated person who believes that we can't predict the future, but we can work today to secure it. So it's awesome having you with us on the lines with us on South Coast Radio, Sihle.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. So I've got a couple of questions for you based on your book, which is called Poverty is Black. And so yes. So kicking off with our first question of the moment, what inspired the idea for your book?
I can say that the way the country is governed and the negligence towards black people who resided in informal settlements.
Yeah. So that's awesome. So can you describe your book in 10 words or less for someone who has never heard of it?
Oh, okay. 10 words. The first word I should say is informative, educational, enlightenment, and unrestricted, intriguing, bold, poverty, and exposing.
Awesome stuff, Sihle. So which characters was the most challenging to write and why?
Because my book is a creative non-fiction compilation, there's no characters. Actually, there are chapters.
Oh, awesome stuff. And
are
there any... Sorry, you're saying?
Oh, sorry.
No.
The chapter that I found it most challenging is 4 basic institutions, because I had to do my research there thoroughly and perfectly, so I would see how these 4 basic institutions interrelate with each other.
Great stuff, Sihle. So what is the message or theme you hope readers take away from your work?
Is that the future is not just a destination we are heading towards. It's the one that we're actively shaping, and the part we take influence both the journey and the outcome.
Great stuff. Awesome. And what inspired you most during the writing process?
What inspires me the most is when you see around us people, they've been voting for change for quite so long, since from 1994, but there's change.
Yes.
So I think they don't understand the power they possess in their vote.
Exactly.
They don't understand the voting process.
That's true, Sihle. And so from the topic of about being talking about your book, moving on further, some questions based on about the writing process. So what is your typical writing routine?
If I can tell you, maybe you never noticed, from 11 p.m. to 3 p.m. that is the most quiet time of the day, each and every day, from 11 p.m. to the next morning, 3 a.m. That's when I take my pen and paper and write, because when you're writing, you have to be in a safe space, in a quiet place where you can think properly. You can't just take a pen and a paper and write in the middle of the day, because something might disturb you or something might happen. Just take your time, because I use the routine of writing from 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. in the morning. Maybe I will fall asleep around past 2 to 3, maybe 1:30, something like that. But I usually write at night, midnight to be exact.
That's great stuff, Sihle. In fact, you are on point about that. Many, I would say, writers, creators, especially musicians and artists and etc., people who are creative in many aspects, those are actually the specific times that they actually focus on getting creative and more ideas and putting stuff together, and so that's true. Yes, I would agree with your point there as well. And so what are some of your writing rituals or superstitions?
Actually, I don't have superstition, but my writing ritual says a good author is a reading author. If you don't read, you won't become a good author. You have to read maybe some other books from other authors, so you can how can I put this? And get a little bit more of your vocab to be upgraded from other authors, and you get to see how they put their work, how they really write, how they orchestrate their writing from the first page to the last page. Because when you're reading a story from other writer, you get to see how they think when they're writing.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yes.
So also, what tools or resources do you find most helpful for writing?
Oh, there's other app that I found on the internet. It's called Grammarly.
Okay.
Grammarly. When you write, it keep on telling you that you're on point, keep on writing. Whenever you are wrong, it doesn't continue to write. It tells you, no, you have to fix the grammar on this thing. It tells you, no, you are wrong now. But you are writing, it tells you, keep on writing, you're on point. It's an app.
That's great stuff, especially for any of the upcoming authors or writers out there. You know what the app is called, as Sihle has mentioned. It's called Grammarly. If that's what you would want to be using, and it would be really helpful for you to use as well. And so, moving on further, Sihle, have other authors or books influenced your writing style?
Yes, of course. If I should say, I'm gonna be honest. I was reading Rising Sun for quite so long, and I was inspired by Mr. Bula's writing style, because the way he writes is poetic. Whenever he writes something on an article on Rising Sun, it's poetic. The way he puts his words is poetic. Then I was impressed, and I have a collage taking off all his article in the newspaper. Maybe I've got 12 or 13. I was always taking off the pictures, not the pictures, the article, the one he wrote on Rising Sun. Every time when it's written, I take it out. Every time when I written, I take it out. And it's informative. He got this political information.
Yes.
Yeah. He influenced me a lot, Mr. Roy Bula.
Yes, in fact, he's got a Midas touch to his poetic work, I must say, as well. I've seen quite a bit of his stuff also on Rising Sun, on social media, etc. And I would agree with you on that as well. And so, Sihle, how do you manage the balance between creative expression and commercial viability?
Actually, my commercial viability allows me to work on my creative expression. How? Because when security guard, as a security guard, you have 12 hours in the same space, 6 to 6. So in that particular time, I'll take some other time and write. Because when I'm at work, I normally stay alone at night when I'm doing night shift. This is the only time that I have a paper and a pen to talk with. So I just normally write at that time.
Great stuff, Sihle. So moving on with a couple more questions based about your career and in writing. So what was your journey to becoming a published author?
It's a lot of sacrifice and a lot of effort. Because if I should say I'm a self-published author, everything that I have comes from my pocket. I have to pay it for myself. So I have to sacrifice a lot of things to become a published author.
Wow, Sihle, in fact, it is a price to pay, and I must say that the results are rewarding indeed. So,
Yes, thank you so much.
no problem. And what was the most challenging thing you've faced as an author?
As an author, people they seem not to understand a person as an author because they're trying to avoid you because you're always asking questions. You see, you always want to know what's happening because as an author, you are a creative mind. You just turn a story that you heard from someone and try to make it a story that you're gonna sell or something like that. The challenges that I faced, people they were avoiding me. They didn't want to stay with me because I tend to be a boring friend now because I'm writing.
Well, I guess that's how it is when you are moving into a specific goal and building and moving forward to your dreams and stuff like that. People always tend to do stuff like that, And I am actually testament to that as well. I know about it. I'm actually been in the music industry over the years, and I've actually experienced the same, so I would agree with that point as well. So moving on, Sihle, so what advice would you give to aspiring writers?
They have to tell their stories, and they'll have their audience, and they'll have their fans. Once you tell the story, it will interest one person, the other person will tell the other person, then the other person will tell. It goes like that. You have to tell the African stories. You have to tell your life experiences if you want people to hear about them.
Great stuff, Sihle, and it's awesome. So how do you interact with your readers and fans out there?
Currently, like I told you, I haven't got a Facebook page, but I interact with them as my friends on Facebook, on TikTok, and on WhatsApp. Because I haven't created the Facebook page because I haven't paid the MTN, something like that. I have to have a contract with MTN so I can establish a Facebook page.
Okay, not a problem at all, Sihle, but eventually that will fall into place in time. And with that being in mind, so what are your future writing goals?
Okay, my future writing goals maybe to write many books as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I want my book to be read, even if they are read at school, at the libraries. Maybe to have one of my books as part of the curriculum. I don't know that, but that's my future goals for writing. Yeah.
Actually, eventually it would come to that point. It takes time, but definitely it's gonna get there. Don't worry, Sihle. And so, what does success look like for you as an author?
Oh, yeah. For instance, we've been crying for so long that there's authors injustice in South Africa. For instance, each and every year, the singers are being awarded, from Metro Award to Summer Award to SAFTAs. Everybody's being awarded for his creative. But here in South Africa, we don't have awards for authors, and we even have big authors in here in South Africa, for the likes of Dr. John Kani. He's the biggest author. He's been respected in UK, whereas here in South Africa, we don't have something to show him respect.
Yes,
for instance, I'm crying out so loud in Department of Arts and Culture to provide something as awards for authors each and every year, as they do with the Metros and Summers.
I would agree with you on that as well, Sihle. So, moving on further, some questions beyond the book. So, what are your favorite books to read in your free time?
Currently now I'm reading Garrett Cliff on Everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a book that I read. It's written by Garrett Cliff, and the other one is The Enneagram of the Spirit.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Mary Horsley. Yeah, I read both of those books on my free time.
Great stuff, Sihle. And do you have any hobbies or interests outside of writing?
Yes. I got the name of Speedy in football. I play football and I run long distance.
It's great stuff, Sihle. And so moving on, we have more questions, which is next going to be, what are your thoughts on the current state of the publishing industry?
The current state of publishing industry, I can't say it's quite good. No, it's not good, because most of the African stories are not told, and we prefer to go internationally. Even in our current curriculum at school, the children are still taught history of Russian, the Nazis, and they're still taught that history. Why don't they teach them the history of South Africa, so they will know who is Robert Sebugwe, who is Steve Ligo, who is Solomon Mashango.
Yes.
They have to know those people, because when time goes on, the future generation, you will ask them, who is Mandela? They wouldn't answer you, because they don't know the South African history that much.
Exactly. I would agree with you on that as well, Sihle.
Yes.
So
the current state of publishing industry is not good at all, because they don't tell African stories.
That's true. And so, Sihle, with that being in mind, what is your message to the world through your writing?
Okay, my message to the world says, let's use the youth and the democracy as a tool to reach new frontiers. Use infinite energy and the creativeness to establish generational wealth within the black communities. By this, I'm saying that this youth that we have in South Africa, and that democracy that we have, we should use it as a tool. Not every movement that we have in South Africa is powered or propelled by youth. So we mustn't be used, but we must use the opportunity that we're given by democracy.
Exactly, on point.
Yes.
So, Sihle, I just have a few more bonus points, bonus questions for this moment. And so...
Yes, no problem.
Okay, so if you could meet any author, living or dead, who would it be and why?
Firstly, it would be a Zimbabwean author, Bessie Haight, the author of the When the Rain Clouds Gather.
Yes.
Because when I was at school, I taught myself how to read English with that book. So I would like to meet her. Yeah. And the other one is Dr. John Carney. Yeah.
Great stuff. Sihle, another question I have this moment. What book would you bring to a deserted island?
It would be two books. The first one is the one for Garrett Cliff on everything, and the other one is Leaders Eat Last by Simone Sinners.
Great, Sihle. Awesome. And also, so what is the best piece of writing advice you've ever received?
They say a good author is a reading author. A good author always listens and creates a story from what or he or her have heard. And don't use big words to make your story sound good. It might kill the impact of the message.
Exactly, that's good stuff. Sihle, I'm going to drop in one more, not actually a question, or you could say question, but just for people out there to be aware of your book that's out there. So where is your book basically being published, and where can people find your book out there? Any stores, bookstores?
Okay. My book was published by Iwila Publishers under the AAA organization, and my book can be sold at DNS stationers next to Big Joe at Scottbera.
Awesome. Okay, so that's great stuff, Sihle. And so guys, you know where to find the book. You want to get your hands on it, and so that is the place to find it. And once again, thank you, Sihle, for spending your time with us out here on South Coast Radio. It's glad to have you with us and interviewing and getting to know about you and your book that you've published as well. You want to say anything else to the listeners out there?
Yeah, thank you so much, and I'm truly honored with the opportunity that you gave me. And I would like to say to the listeners, whoever who got a story in his mind or in his heart, just put it in a paper or put it in a laptop or put it in your phone. just try to work on your story. And there are a lot of African stories that need to be told. I have been told yet. There are a lot of African stories need to be told. Thank you so much, Ryan.
No problem at all. Sihle, it's great and awesome having you once again with us on South Coast Radio. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is our interview with Sihle Magnificent Msabala. And we are talking about his book, which is Poverty is Black. And you can find them at DNS Stationery in Scottborough if you want to get your hands on those books. So you know what to do. And with that being in mind, that was a wrap up for our interview. That moment right there.
The radio station you can't live without. This is your radio.
This is South Coast Radio.